Howdy folks, John here from rchelicopterfun.com. It's heli review day today. We're looking at a neat little one. It's the Eachine E150. This is Eachine's second direct drive technology little heli, meaning the main rotor shaft is being direct driven by a large diameter outrunner brushless motor. Very quiet, very efficient, and just a superior way to do things in my opinion. I want to thank Banggood and Eachine right now for agreeing to send me the E150 so we can all have a look at it together. And as usual, there'll be product links below in the description. This is their ready to fly version, meaning it comes with their little E6 6-channel computerized radio, but you can also get it in the bind and fly version and save yourself about $40 foregoing the radio. I'm probably going to be binding this, however, to my Radio Master for the test flight in the video, which will be coming up shortly. But first off, let's see what's inside the box. One of the best features I like with all of Eachine's helicopters, just like XKs and OMPs, is they are running a good and popular protocol. They're using Futaba's SFH SS. So lots of radio options if you're running Futaba, OpenTX, or of course, in this case, their included little E6 radio. So we've got a little E6 radio instruction manual, just goes over the operation of the radio, switch layout, menu layout, talks about pitch and throttle curves. And you know, when you're getting into collective pitch, having a computerized radio where you can set all that properly for your flying style is so important. So it's nice to see them including this kind of stuff. And the radio itself, we'll just go over that really quick. I'm not going to get totally heavy into it because I already did a review on XK's X6 radio, which is essentially the same thing. And I'll link to it below in the description and up in a little card doodad if you wanted to get a better idea of how these little radios function and their features. But certainly a decent little radio to begin with if you're just getting into the hobby. And like I said, so important with collective pitch so you can set it up properly. And we get a couple of spare blades, it looks like. A USB charger, single port, 3S. Little, what is this, a Phillips? Yep, little tiny Phillips screwdriver. Little Allen wrench, probably 1.5 millimeter. And a spare tail blade. As you can see, the heli is fairly nicely packaged. This box had some shipping damage, but the helicopter was nicely protected. And heli looks fantastic. First thing I noticed is the nice, bright, easy to see colors. Thumbs up on that one. So thanks Eachine for listening to a lot of us. We want bright helis with these little micros because they get small fast. And we'll have a full look at that, but really nice looking helicopter. What do we have in here? Probably some batteries or a battery. So I think they sent me the 2 battery version. So yeah, it's just a 3S pack, 500 milliamp hour. We'll measure it right away so you know if you might already have some packs that'll fit. And I think that's it for what's in the box, yes. Okay, before doing anything, I'm just going to get a battery charging. So little USB charger, we'll plug it in. Little red light comes on, well, blinks, and it charges through the balance port. And the light goes steady red when it's charging. So we'll come back to that. We'll see how well it balances up. So I guess we'll just start at the front and move to the tail. As I mentioned, nice bright canopy, so that's really nice to see. So you look at the graphics here. Nicely done. Oh, and there's a battery inside. So it is a sliding battery compartment, so size is very much critical. You could certainly go smaller, but then it would be loosey-goosey inside. We'll just check the dimensions on this thing in case you might have something that would fit it. It is about 53 long. That's the one dimension you've got a little bit of wiggle room with. Width, about 27 millimeters. and height about 16.5. But again, critical because it is just a sliding holster for it. Easy to change though. XT30 plug, as we can see, so that's nice. There is the flight control system and ESC, two boards in this compartment, just like on the E180. So the ESC board is at the bottom, flight control board, flybarless system at the top, and the wiring to the main brushless motor, just like the OMP M1. They're using the little standoff and screwed eyelets for the motor attachment. No bullet pins to worry about. And then the brushless tail motor, we've just got a little plug here on the side. And we've got the 3 adjustment pots for tail gain, cyclic gain, and agility rates. And we've got our 3 swash plate servo outputs, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. And this flight controller also accepts S-bus receivers. So if you had a little micro S-bus receiver, you could plug it in, or a satellite DSM-X receiver for all you Spectrum folks. Carbon frame, nice and wide, of course, for that brushless outrunner motor, and that is the benefit with these things. So quiet, so efficient. You'll hear that when we fly it. And the number on it is X2507. It's an 800 kV rated motor. We've got a lower and upper aluminum plate that the servos are mounted to, so a nice central strong core there. The arrangement's kind of cool. All 3 servos are behind the main mast. There's not 2 in front and 1 behind. Plastic linkages from the servo arms up to the swash plate, non-adjustable. So as long as the servo arms are centered, we're going to have a nice level swash, side to side and front to back. So no adjustments needed there. DFC, nice to see on a little micro. I like DFC on micros, don't like it on big helicopters, but on little ones it makes a lot of sense. And there is no slop at all when I'm trying to pitch these blades back and forth. The only little bit of slop is a little bit in the swash plate. Full metal swash, full metal head, of course. Nice to see hash marks on the head for adjusting your pitch angles. Servos are digital, coreless, metal geared, plastic cased. Quick little addition here, I pulled one of the little Eachine E150 servos apart just so we can have a look at it. It is definitely metal geared, as we can see, all but the gear being driven by the pinion, which would never experience enough force to strip out. And the little rascal, come on, where are you, is even ball raced. Tiny little circuit board, cordless motor, typical little micro servo. Pretty nice quality, actually. Landing skids, nice to see. This is, to me, an upgrade from the 180, which had carbon fiber skids. These are nice, flexible nylon. Come down hard, smash it, bash it. They don't crack. Really forgiving for bad landings. Got a nice, stiff carbon tail boom. Ooh, it's strong. No bent aluminum booms. Mounted in a fiber reinforced plastic tail boom case at the back of the frame, and then out on the end, well executed tail rotor assembly. I've got the wiring going right up the tail boom, well protected. Again, brushless direct drive tail motor, X1103, 5000 kV rated, 4 bolts bolted to the fiber reinforced tail fin mount, and the tail fin is plastic as well, so it'll take a lot of abuse. It won't crack like a carbon one. Tail rotor, by the way, is held to the brushless outrunner here with a single Phillips screw. Check the flying weight here. 183 grams. What is that? In imperial, 6.4 ounces. So under the 250 gram weight restrictions for a lot of regulations. Let's talk about size a little bit of the E150. We'll do a standardized measurement from bolt hole to blade tip, which is how many helis are sized. Look at that, a heli that's finally true to its actual stated marketed size. This is truly a 150 size helicopter. And probably direct competition to this, of course, would be the OMP M1. my favorite small helicopter of all time. I just love the M1. It's a little bit smaller though. This is a 120, 130 size. It's about 125 millimeter rotors. But as you can see, very similar footprint for both of them. As far as what Eachine's got, their bigger brother, the E180, as you can see, quite a bit bigger. And the E160, pretty much identical. Blade length is the same. It's got a longer tail boom though, the E160, and it's slightly narrower. It just doesn't have as chubby of a canopy. Of course, we've got that big wide outrunner motor with the big wide frame spacing. So that's what gives this a little bit more chub factor. So let's power up the radio and see what the out-of-box setup is like. So this thing takes 4 AA's. And turn it on, you just hold the power button in for a couple of seconds. Beeps. As you can see, it is backlit. So I'll plug in the heli here. See if it comes pre-bound, which it should. There we go. The blue LED is solid, meaning it's communicating with the radio. Holy crow, that's a lot of cyclic throw. Make sure we've got throttle hold engaged. As long as you're in throttle hold, it won't spool up. First, we'll check the stabilization setting. Like most small modern day helicopters, this thing's got accelerometer, self-level help, and just normal gyro stabilization. I always recommend to beginners who are starting out, if at all possible, learn with normal gyro stabilization. Set your heli up for learning on, fit training gear, you still can't go wrong with that, and learn properly without any of that self-level help, because guess what? You're just gonna have to relearn later on if that's how you learn originally. But learn however you want. That's just the instructor in me talking. So in normal gyro stabilization, the little red LED here will just be flashing slowly. And that's with the switch in the 3D position. And self-level stabilization, 6G, the red LED will be solid. So if you're setting it up on a different radio system, that's how you would confirm your channel 5 output settings are set correctly. Red LED is solid, self-level, flashing, normal gyro. So let's just see how our collective range is. See if it's symmetrical, how they've got this set up. So blades together will be producing exactly 0 degrees of pitch. You can also check that with your hash marks. When the hash marks are lined up, you know the blades are at 0. So we're pretty much at center stick. So that's good. And on the upside, just got my little wedge method. We're producing positive 10. And on negative, about -6. But let's go into idle up and see what collective range we've got on here now. First, we'll see at mid stick if we're producing 0. Not quite. So that can be improved. Negative, ooh, we're producing a lot of pitch. About -12. And positive, about +12. So, not bad setup out of the box. Let's just see how level the swash plate is. We'll go back to 0. And swash plate, as you can see, perfectly level front to back and side to side. So it's going to be in good trim right out of the box. Charger light has gone off, indicating that the battery must be fully charged. Oh, let's see how it balanced and charged this pack. 4.22, 4.23, 4.23. Way overcharged. Once again, a USB charger set for the dumpster. Garbage! While I was waiting for that little LiPo to get overcharged, not by choice of course, I took the time to bind and set the heli up on my OpenTX radio. I'm just using my collective pitch OpenTX heli template, which I go over in a separate video. I'll link to it below in the description and up in the card doodad. It's the external mix template because the flybarless system does the ECCPM mixing for us. Bound up fine using Futaba's SFHSS protocol. Bind button, by the way, is kind of hidden. It's way up in the corner there. Focus you. There we go. Right up there, that's the bind button. So you just hold it in when it's powered up and the lights will go off indicating it's in bind mode. Then you just go into your model setup menu and hit the bind button and you're good to go. And it uses Futaba channel mapping. Aileron is channel 1, elevator channel 2, throttle channel 3, tail rotor anti-torque channel 4. Channel 5 is the stabilization mode selection, and channel 6 is our collective channel. And as far as collective goes, got a textbook setup, 0 degrees of collective at mid stick, -12 at low, +12 at high, symmetrical collective range. And then I will have my 3 different flight modes with different collective ranges for different flying styles, which we will go over when we fly it. Our 2 little packs nicely charged now. All 3 cells sitting at 4.2 volts. Okie dokie, attempting to fly the Eachine E150. It's fairly breezy out today, so it should be a good test for the little guy. And I haven't messed around with the gains on the flybarless system. This is out of the box values. So we'll see how it is. Tail's a little twitchy on spool up until the RPMs come up on the head. Other than that, nice out of the box. Try to do a hands-on, hands-off the radio shot while we've got a lull in the wind. Well, and the wind's taking it for a bit of a ride. Try that once again. Ah, wind's really picking up now. Come on. Oh, on this gusty wind, it's pretty hard. That's hands off though. Decent out of the box. So this is my tame flight mode running -1 to +9 collective, 50% on all dual rates, and about 70% power. Very fluid. Actually beautiful. Nice job, Eachine. And again, like all direct drive little helis, just can't get over how quiet they are. And no difference here. Let's check the dual rate at, or the yaw rate at 50% in both directions. Consistent. Very predictable. Yeah, it's a small little heli though, and the wind's certainly tossing it around, but feels really good. Very enjoyable. Fairly easy to see. I like bright fluorescent colors better. Red and blue I have a hard time with for some reason, but I'm able to see the yellow at least. Okay, let's see if it's any squirrelier when we switch into the idle up. And a higher dual rate, so I'm running 80% dual rate now, -10 to +10 collective, and about 85% power. Oh, nice. Nothing wrong with that. Can't get the tail to blow out. So this is a nice sports setting. Let's try a roll here. Now, wind kind of pushed us there, but not bad. Okay, let's try 100% power, ±12, and 100% travel, so no dual rate reduction at all. Holy crow, it's powerful. Tail rotor's screaming, but can't get it to blow out. It's keeping up with those torque spikes. Oh, it's jumpy. Can't believe how grippy the collective is at this head speed. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Collective response is crazy fast. But fairly smooth. Tail gain could be turned down a little bit. It's a little too high for my liking. What is the yaw rate like at this high RPM? Nice yaw. Sorry, cameraman. Probably lost that one, didn't you? Oh. Okay, that's a little bit too aggressive for this guy. Back into super tame mode. So, nice and docile flying again. Certainly capable of it. Oh, that 5 minutes went way too fast. Just having a little too much fun here. Yeah, we'll land. So, I'm going to do several more flights on this thing. So I can give you guys an idea of flight times, that kind of thing. I might turn the tail gain down a bit. It's not bad. It's just I guess it's okay. So, good out of the box setup. No problems at all. So I'm going to have a little more fun, and I'll see you down in the shop with some final thoughts. Man, that was fun. Just having a blast flying this little Eachine E150. Put 6 more flights on it and go over flight times here. Again, as any quoted flight time goes, mileage will vary. Depends on head speed, flying style, how you manage your collective and cyclic energy, setup, even atmospheric conditions, right? But in my normal tame flying mode, taking the battery no lower than 80% discharge state, again, no inverted flight, just scale type, gentle flying, getting between 8 and 9 minutes. Incredible. So just like we'd expect with all these little direct drive small helicopters, run super efficient power systems. In my sport flying mode, getting between 5 and 6 minutes. Again, not taking the battery pack any lower than 80% discharged. And I can't do hardcore smacking, but when I had my full head speed and tossing it around as much as I can, getting around 4 minutes. So probably if you were a hardcore smacker running full head speed, just jamming away on the sticks, you're probably going to get between 3.5 minutes. Nothing has loosened up in those flights. Everything's still nice and tight. No complaints at all. They've done everything really well. I was really appreciating these skids came down hard a couple of times in that gusty wind on the concrete, not in the snow, and they certainly cushioned everything. They're lasting. It was fairly cool out today, so it didn't seem to make them brittle at all. The one thing I did notice though, and this is a problem with all little helicopters these days, they make the canopy so bloody small. It's rubbing on the enclosure for the flybarless and ESC. Just take this off so you can see inside the canopy here. That's worn these marks right through. That to me is ridiculous. They've done everything so well, done all the hard stuff perfectly, but can't get the canopy size correctly. And again, not just a problem with Eachine. All the small helis seem to be like this now. Just size up the canopy to 20%. Is it that hard? But other than that, I'm really impressed with this little thing. And I know people are going to ask, well, do you like this or the M1 better? 2 different helicopters. I would take either of them. For my flying style and the size of my yard, Subjectively, the M1 I do like better, but considering they're the exact same price pretty much, you're not going to go wrong with either. This gives you a little more size for the dollar, of course, and it gives you a carbon fiber frame. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. In small little micros, I'd actually like to see plastic frames with metal servo and main shaft. You know, then you get the rigidity for the rotor system, but you get the weight savings, cost savings, and, you know, mechanical fuse protection of a plastic frame. Actually, I flew my M1 and then this back to back. I'll just give you my thoughts right now on that. Is it like the M1? No, because it's bigger and it's quite a bit heavier. So it's definitely got a different feel than the M1. That's the only way I can explain it. So that's the Eachine E150. Neat little heli if you're in the market for something in this size range. Don't think you can go wrong with it. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you next time. Happy flights.